You shouldn't vote for a liar, a man who is lying to have power. Wow. Won't hear the history. Adubuahin, Oko 1992, and we winning. And Oko general election, and we lose. 1996, the former black flag bearer, Ejine Kumasi, Kasena Adubuahin Yare. Kufuor contested Adubuahin in 1996, and Kufuor BT Adubuahin. Edibeye flag bearer. He was fighting to go on the post, and they did not agree. And we contested. I will pay power. We be abedi o mining now to be detro a distorted history. Say, Mesra Mamon to Abama. Ugamuniam. Obia maninic name so we're a liar. More than a bar, we're a liar, and the people are not going to vote for him. He's not a trustworthy person. When I heard him yesterday saying that, I said, what? A presidential candidate who wants people to vote for him will look eyeball to eyeball and lie. He's a big liar. Men the makachira money. We're a liar. So Tumiko General said, na Adubuahin Yare. Wow. Timesram, Adubuahin was contested by Kufuor. And Kufuor BT, you know. Edibeye, Munko checking history. In the mama omumetutu nyoma second chance. Many are told me, I am more popular than him in this country. I'm telling you today, me am more popular than him. Who knows him? The only people, those who know him as a liar. And he continues to lie. That is why we lost. When to me economy who wants somebody digital. Am I lose you? And you people that I'm talking to know why you didn't vote for him, because of the tribal conflict. The tribal conflict. And we lost the 5 northern regions. And his lie, he said, oh no, when you're the highest vote. And Kufuor had 20 seats, parliamentary seats, and now what 10? How can you say, when you're the highest vote? Mesrem. A trona papa ni di for power no di. Mudi agro ko ye mistakes e mumia. Ye be say atno opposition. Ko Ghana ni di antroso no. Omo say tron ko na wodi. A tron wodu Ashanti region. Why so desperate he say a tron ko na every day wodi. And why we want to win power. And if you want to win power, ask the Muslims themselves. They will tell you. Say oko adum cheho edi ayikogu na enti yantoma no oko mungwa yomu shrine edi ayigu nsi yantoma no. The Muslims say it all the time. The Christians are saying yantoma no. So what are we saying? Do we want to lose power? When these same Muslims say bring Canada Japan, Christians are saying bring Canada Japan, and you are not catching and say what is Zongo Muslim nothing votes member. What happened in the north? And you are aware, you are the very people. More witness say his brutality. I have to tell you the truth. What you say? In this and Trona or Nam Didieno and no Kurabemo will lose election. The Bunya Bow, Amon Tuabama Canada Japan. Near Manokure and Nedi or Ghanaian politics. That's right. People in Boko Enkle, you know very well. The tribal conflict played a role for us to lose. Religious problems caused us because of him. He has to accept it. The boy says he come at I'm about to say, young two mano, or no go jina doomche, and a young two mano, young go. They tell me all the time. They come to me. They tell me. Into one person kataso tribal conflict, any religious problems. It's a fact. And you are there. You experience it yourself. It's a trona will di culture because he wants power. And you are. The mesra munya jidi. Se Ghana, ibetimi ayeni. Bedemase.
Enti Honorable Kennedy Akompre kun Japan. Ana enra wo efidie no so. Ana chese wo kom ya keka nsem na Jack. Nsem o kan ni me de bi mu edu bi mu ohye. maybe I mean Gary. I think that the handlers of Kennedy are compared with Japan so far. Men can Hansem, but me cut the handlers. Omo handle Kennedy Japan. So far, met me aka say mo adwuma no mo ye ni ye kopi menura. Kopi menura. Kopi menura no. I think say my bonnet tro kan kakra. My bonnet tro kan. My candidate opinion. Ken could have addressed the people simply, telling them his vision and mission, than going to, attack the former president. I can also understand the political twist of this, especially in Krofukua na oni omu edi sankomono, because these are people in Boko, and the assumption that the people in Bokono are Nkrofo Sebi Ebru Sebi Enyado, because of the conflict in Omuache, Kusasi for Wonku, and Amamprusi for also a different side. Even in recent times, the Ekoko Kosuna, you could also understand. So at a certain breath, I understand, but I especially say, and you're one-on-one on your Mukasa, but you are talking through a digital means, as our digital means is available to all Ghanaians, words could have been a bit measured, especially when it comes to the tribal and the religious bit of it. I understand. So on one case were issues because or complaining say or caught the northern party, the way and Crawford can war hono. Omu Bobby or but when him say yeah, and so you shouldn't have also repeat same. That is my candidate opinion about the whole thing, the whole sessions near the other. But you see, all the time I do this. Now make us why ya kopim say things will change. So what you say? And no matter what, okay. Any panning tiasie. And there was a court session last week. Mekanwa. The book of Proverbs ekan baby. Now the book of Proverbs in ekan yenye. Was it bua was it first of all say mamwa wo kwasia wo ne jimi nsemo no wanye jimi fo na otoko so kwa say bua wo kwasia wo ne jimi nsemo no we munu so ye nyansafo. I said this thinking say people would learn sense and stop sebie buru sebie nyado nsem na omo ye ewo court dan ho abobo no omo ye. Krachi bi onso nam social media no am call court na say isa amamprusifoɔ ne isa bokufoɔ friends kusasifoɔ ntoko ya maka kyerɛ mo sɛ sebie ndie mo ye omo mother side mo de ba mo father side sebi nyansa bi anim mo nwene ho na mo hunu ni saa se boys na ko gina court down na obe hu oba besia na nim sa Zuma Blues na nsem wo keka nsem wo keka. Because when you blog a big giant anymore the phone be a so and to be an one walk casa 1 minute walk casa fini yem one casa fini trim. So you make noise. What can someone say? Once a true baby, I say, men nini partem. But there are certain group of people. It is that kind of words never come wasum. They don't understand anything. All the thing. No one she sent Tadia print you or being funny up when you know. Masa eya no wura court ko catch the judge and shall Tadia no wura court neka sansem na ya mo catch the judge. But smoothness level. Best is some with that ma hu ade wepi hu. And I don't know why them musika basi or mudi or mufri a hono di or muba be ye de jina court to down one be ye de. Now I said the brother Yankupon. Yamina Boami Jack me when you sukrama what to go temu baby cry. I pose if one of them muchemo, come on, but Temu Kakanka. Abe jina court to down be to the extent say people want to attack the deputy AG. Say nimdie se bia dimdia me maye nyanti nimdia bomu ninti no okoko no okwa attack the deputy AG na wono ekoko prosecute case na make sure say papa say be ni yebe man no say ni yebe man no nimdia mu ni lack of knowledge, you lack it. Those Mamprose guys who went to the court no ko di say no, you lack knowledge, you lack wisdom. Simple seta. We need to tell you to your face. I go to the extent say AG air kokota. This time until recently na kwa no kokota no kwa no ni driver na kokota. Say obeko AG kokota soldier for na say air guard na adine kokota. All because these charlatans want to attack the AG. What? They should be very careful. This so-called Mamprose guy, I don't know even if some Mamprose for. They should be very, very careful. Uwo boku na be enwo akoko na enwo. Aha die Jack. Hanya wasasi o hanya dia. Ento wo be ye wrete bia o ha ye beti wo gwawa. Ye beti wo gwaw no ho ade wapi ho. E aka se ho no ye ho no. How now we are obi enfi wa ha wo ya ye beti wo gwaw. Abegina be ye wrete ni mo be careful. You should be very careful. Accra is not for you. Understand it that way. Accra is not for you. The people here are peace-loving people. Ye di mra na ye adwuma. Bema weni adaw. Beba weni adaw. To wense. A private legal practitioner Obabeka Nsa ewo aha. Council. Morning.
Good morning. Afi Shapa.
Afi nkometri afi sese na akan constituency na babedio.
Yedase.
Council, my ending nkomo na no pay very quickly. Yedim say enche na MPP on the 31st of January na moko elections. Before then there were session of parliamentary candidates who throw support behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia a press conference at the press center some few weeks ago. Now oka omo yes declaration now oka omo.
Dami kan opa. I'm a very key member of sa team.
Why will you go on that tangent?
Oh, you know, as a former parliamentary candidate, you know, you represent constituency. Inti enye ye pe na ye dey ISR declaration.
Okay.
A constituents, and I say direction I'm person yen kono. Me say in a can many constituency na ye meeting. And I almost say from 1996 MPP candidate be anchor first time we need that. I said yeah fanunko severally Kufoko 2 times and Adoko 3 times. And nearby 41.9%, you know. Wabunu humbody pa. Got a third term for any party in a functional democracy. So you see functional democracy, I have democracy, a real democracy. A third term is always difficult for any party. And this is a third term and Bawumia as a first timer, I got born humbody sa. Here say yensan fanu nkobium so anything ye fast akwan no yes Bawumia as former parliamentary candidate no Yemfa Hondi and Tanich.
But as a former parliamentary candidate, was that your conviction even before going to meet the delegates at Oni Omudi Sankomon?
Time now, your university, no, now you're dean of students, so a Supreme Court judge, Professor Mensa Bonsu. Or see, as a leader, you must lead and not be led. As a leader, you must lead and not be led. And as the constituency former parliamentary candidate, and as a strong local constituency, I mean, I'm still the focal point of the party. And my conviction has to be marketed to the constituents. And to a very large extent, I can tell you that my conviction and I trickle down to my supporters. And luckily for us, our constituency chairman also supporting DMB.
Okay.
So I can tell you in Oti region, I can about more than 80%.
More than 80%.
Yes.
In Oti region.
In Oti region, I can tell you that Akan would be the leading constituency in Oti region for Dr. Bang.
In Oti region, the previous 2023 election, how many percent?
2023, about 74%.
74%.
74%. But so our time, you know, now, and you mean a parliamentary candidate. When you say a constituency honor, your former parliamentary candidate in Akabibi. Honorable Rashid, now ambassador to Nigeria.
Okay.
And it was after the primaries in April in Okababy before I went to join.
Okay.
So our time, I was then working within the Medina constituency. Me a patron of Medina.
Oh, okay.
Until 2023 primaries, me to about Medina as a patron. It was later, and unfortunately, a candidate, a Okababy. Until me support immediata by me chino, I must say, I can see I done it completely and a DMB
constituency.
Yes.
So let me ask you the question: why DMB? This is a candidate at Modena elections. Tried and tested. Ghana forcing no. Why do you want to still repeat DMB?
You see, DMB didn't fail. DMB didn't fail at all. Obia, the first time I won 41 point something, almost 42%.
But you went into an election to win power.
Yes, but we knew it was an uphill task. My catch did I say, in every functional democracy, a third term is always difficult. In the year corner, your name say it was going to be difficult. The global economic crisis, the Ukraine-Russia war. So that time, not crude, Ederson. Crude say NDC for say omo the petrol or boaba from omo the petrol. It has nothing to do with the government. It is purely a global phenomenon. Crude at that time was over $140 a barrel. So say crude about from up to almost $40 per barrel. So that global crisis, prices were skyrocketing. Not something that the MPP or Dr. Bawumia could have controlled. So see, things are getting better, inflation above form, dollar above form. But prices are increasing, utilities are going up. Time now, MPP, the major components are calculating utility price, particularly electricity, exchange rates and inflation. As I say, exchange rate above from inflation above from, but utility prices are called up 28%. You should ask yourself what is happening. So all of these crises together work against the MPP and Dr. Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia has proven to be the only vice president that Yamuse or the enunyam about the office of the vice president.
And the more they can buy an enemy.
Oh no, they were just
Dr. Aliu Mahama under President Kufuor.
I mean, let's even start from Aka.
Yes.
Aka under Rawlings was just a ceremonial vice president. It got to a point on the Rawlings, Grana Omunko, on cabinet room, and a whole lot of other things. Atamos Baye, I mean, Atamos, nobody knew him. Dr. Elijah Aliu Baye, and also because there was really nothing for him to do as a vice president. Also now Olonchi be disciplined as a citizen, and or the Najima. He did. It was just symbolic. Dr. Bawumia and Eddie focus about office of the vice president. He's worked hard. You can see his traces as a vice president. So say I work hakura na me share video bi. Omo bi san kwada say why any vice president now almost Dr. Bawumia. Even now obi a him the vice president edi. Uko street say ana o ye poll who say why any vice president. About 80% of Ghanaians don't know who our vice president is. Why? Because president don't manage my be also.
But is that not where the difficulties lie? Say people or the opponent will argue, say you said you were vibrant as a vice president. You were able to achieve certain things as a vice president. But where the party fails, you don't want to ascribe that failure to yourself. You say it is other people. Now, where did you mean I'm digitization, I'm a champion, but when it comes to the economy now, Nanado catch and say it is the reason why he brought you. He says, no, it is not me.
I mean, it is not what he says. The question you ask yourself is, what is the Ghanaian saying? We all know that, look, say Ankanye Bawumia, our votes in 2024, Anka, it will be worse than Nyanya. It will be worse. What you ask yourself is, what of the parliamentary candidates? In the history of this party, our parliamentary candidates have not performed abysmally as in 2024.
No, is it about the parliamentary candidate or it is about the whole MPP and the regime itself?
Exactly. That's why I'm telling you that it's all about the third term syndrome. Uko third term, you've done so many things. People are angry. People are dissatisfied. Obia. I mean, people feel left out. Let me tell you something. Me say in Medina in 2016, I adopted over 30 polling stations. When I say 2016, now when you adopt a polling station, I did all of that. I was willing to spend on the party. But Andrew, 2020, as a key supporter of the party, nothing has happened. 2024, so Ankanye said me a parliamentary candidate. I would have felt reluctant to sponsor the party because after 8 years.
But in 2016, the Hatanamu position.
Exactly.
Now you are in power, so things have changed. So you feel say the responsibilities on the appointees are say you are appointed more Manyeska.
That is the major problem. And now Musi Efrana Didija. That was the major problem in 2024.
Which Bawumia was part of that government?
Bawumia will never say he wasn't part of that government. Bawumia was a key person in the government. He was a vice president. But Ubisamia, the vice president, always performs at the beck and call of the president. Who call your constituency, there's no specific rule for the vice president. No, there's no specific rule. The constitution says whatever duty you be assigned by the president, and then it will deal with you. I can tell you, and I'm very certain a lot of people are aware that after President Ronaldo's first term, the major ruler, Omar Bawumia, as the head of the economic management team, he was substantially sidelined.
By when?
the economic management team, although functionally is headed by the vice president, the finance minister most of the time feels that it is his responsibility. That is why, since Accra, I can say there are some economic indicators that are looking positive. What are Ghanaians saying? What are people saying? They said Atu is forcing. Oman can say Nana Jane is forcing. Nana Jane is a vice president. She is the chairperson of the economic management team.
She is not.
But Oman can say Nana Jane.
As we speak, we don't have anything like economic management team.
We have. They have outdone it. The last, I think about a week ago, I read something in the news.
Those who were supposed to advise the president
on the economy. That's the economic management team.
So that's the economic management team. Yes. So let's even agree. Yes. Let's agree. Say that these are the economic management team. But you see, this economic management team, the finance minister is not part of the economic management team. If assuming we want to even couch it like that, some in the economic management team. But if you say, looking at what Nanado told us on the campaign, Dr. Bawumia is a former deputy governor, Bank of Ghana. A bani yesika semwa or yobi a wabini munti or ne bebe buani out to yesika sem. Nanado and ne kasa ye sidi nu emwa ye hata enti ye di Dr. Bawumia basa de beya ye sidi nu ebetumi jina ne nine so. And before you left power, you left the dollar somewhere around 14 when you pick it around 4.
The question I will be someone who say the first term of Nana Addo na etiseng.
Yeah.
That's good. And those are the footprints of Bawumia.
So the question would be that the Nipana was assigned Bawumia to lead the economic management team. No? Did he by chance say me you if you were free ho?
One can say publicly, but in substance, that's not nice. The second term, also now you can budget crown about we call parliament. But the first time, every time I hear can budget, you see about me. So kaya time I hear call e-levy. But we call Peace FM or see or no on for e-levy so because e-levy or more from the lower ladder of the economy. No, I'm not using e-levy. Into taxi, I'm not using more. Until taxi e-levy, it will affect the grassroots. But Omoko cabinet, majority, I mean it's a democracy. The majority said e-levy, and I'm the e-levy buyer. You can agree with me that in 2024, e-levy was a major reason why Ghanaians voted against the NPP. And even at the point, they were promising that my chance I buy e-levy You understand? That should tell you that Bawumia was really not in charge. So Anka Bawumia in charge, I never, and I would tell you for sure, e-levy will never be part of our economy. But because he wasn't in charge, the finance minister believed that the buck stops on him as the finance minister. And that is why when some 90 or thereabout MPs of the NPP for the first time protested against their own finance minister.
In the second term of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, from where you sit, what was the relationship between the then vice president and then the finance minister?
I wasn't in cabinet, but if the visuals will say anything, you would see that the finance minister believed that no, and yemra no man kwanse on here economy so. The economic management team, just as you can see in this government, is just an advisory board. Its decisions are not binding. And yeah, the economic management team, like I say, they need to be binding. It is what the president through the finance minister presents in the budget that is binding. In particular, the second term, the finance minister believed that the buck will stop on him if the economy failed. Inti Yamano Kwana Onyene Aope. What I know is that in the second term, Bawumia was really not in charge. And it reflected in the economy, it reflected in the figures, both the micro and macro economy. Now, you see the difference between our first term and the second term. But, governance is teamwork. And we have what we call collective responsibility. On the papa account me and sin change say, oh, I wasn't. That is why Bawumia, anywhere he goes, he says that, look, I'm riding on the record of the NPP government from Kufuor time, and then what Nana Addo also did. But we can do better. There's more room for improvement. Until you say, Yemma Bawumia a second chance. I can tell you, sir, Bawumia will be the best president in this Fourth Republic.
Have you heard? This is in your Okano. The governance is a teamwork. Have you heard people who say, look, in these primaries, we are not voting for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. One, because Nkrofo na mo na Nana Addo abem, it is the same people who are around him. And to say, kase di JB baye enti na party for antoa ba. It is the same people you are going with, and so the same people, same character, nothing will change. Let's change the system and vote for any other person. And yes, Nkrofo na and what will be your response to that?
Apart from Kwabena Agyapong,
yes,
who wasn't directly involved in Nana Addo's government. The other four,
yes.
Educhum, in the first time, now a deputy
Education minister became a minister.
A full minister.
Brian Champong.
Brian Champong, the first time, now in charge of national security.
Yes.
Second term,
Interior.
Interior, correct. Then later, Oba second term to agree. And seriously, this is not to blame him, but Sir Okaya, in the 2024 elections, the distribution of fertilizer was a major issue.
He has debunked that and says, look, anybody who says so, because one, or the fertilizer no call baby, kopim say, even the NDC went into some warehouses and fertilizer and go eco CZ. So it is the parliamentary candidates and on one check. Your constituency, you were a parliamentary candidate, not DC, or now. Did you receive the fertilizer?
Fertilizer no buy. In a can, fertilizer no buy about 2 weeks to the election.
2 weeks to election.
Correct. And then yes, they say fertilizer no buy no almost see the agri officer or district or known as or distribute fertilizer no. Inti almost see farmers no for almost list them bra online registration. Look, by the time we sa process no na yet to abana bi. And yes, almost this fertilizer na ba say, oh, parliamentary candidate, this is for you. Check. No. A buyer, a agri officer in the in the district.
Districts.
And also say, it's a farmer numbra who acreage a wood. And yeah, they are obebana YG. You needed to fill forms, prove that you are really a farmer, show your acreage. Then the acreage will determine the number of bags you will get. Inti idea I said by 2023 now you are starting site distribution. Now you started a compile farmers list. Ni America my constituency asem na America
I can constituency, yes.
My name is here or other constituencies.
That is so.
But that was a major problem. Another issue I buy, I'm taking the candidates one by one for you to know.
Yes.
Another issue I buy about or no time now almost Okoto golden tulip
yes there be no Kwakoto your friends
Labadi Beach
yes.
Hotel. If you will be very fair to the fact, it was part of the NDC propaganda about Fabi Bia, MPP, GB Bia. Meanwhile, I will tell you, it was through a public tender that they need a strategic partner for Labadi Beach because Snit, the hotel wasn't doing well. But the optics in politics, we are a friend of optics.
Yes.
What does it show? Me say, I may come a constituency. Me China brother, what do you know? Now, constituency youth organizer or contest the MPP primaries. But the appointment the banner made the manual. I won't say, oh, a MPP member until I made the manual. Because family.
Yes.
You see, the optics have to be managed. So those things were not good for the optics. I can't almost say the heavy. Young continent. And so you see a point here. Brian was a very, very pivotal appointee of the government. So you call Ken. Ken was the board chair
Ghana Gas.
of Ghana Gas.
Yes.
He was the board chair of Ghana Gas. Ken Aka publicly said, apart from oh man, we are time now and after before now. I think he was for roads.
Amakwata.
No. Amakwata free honor. This guy.
Asensu Boachi.
Boachi. Also, apart from Asensu Boachi, all Ashanti region appointees, let's no more or no fee. He said so publicly. Omo ye list no ewo omo Kenya.
Yes.
And somebody command and I do. What does that tell you? It tells you that now you're a key member of the government.
When it comes to the appointment.
Yes, I mean, you see, if you know politics very well, let me just tell you this story. It looks like a joke. Almost 3 guys sponsor a presidential candidate. And presidential candidate winning a year, not from. So, who paid must support me. Who paid back so finance minister, back so foreign affairs minister. And the third one is on PBBR. Now, our penny say president to a big event on Freno. So Freno, Obaba Kutin in chain, na waka anything aguna soon then uncle. He said, you support me when you're when I open or so now open. And I can tell you within a short time, so or no now on Crabbe Biano, he was the one now calling the shots. Influence peddling. So what's some media come president to know? Oh, who's the president? Oh, don't worry. And that is what we are talking about. Governance. It gets upon those who are even in real appointment position don't control anything. It is those who are seen as godfathers. Kenya who as godfather. Me and I remember one year's appointment.
But the back really stop at the president.
Into when your appointment is what I say that you have to do. Ken was a very pivotal person in Anado's government. He said that. I mean, any idea you did to know.
Yes.
And he said, you see, Edidija, apart from Kobna Japan, all the other 4 contestants are guilty. And I can tell you that the vice president might not even be guilty because the vice president controls nothing. Let me tell you a secret. Unim said, you create Northeast region, not vice president. Maybe I say capital on corner, capital on corner. The vice president truly, and if you look at the demography of Northeast, the busiest town, the central town is Waliwali. From Tamale to Bolga, you go through Waliwali. The little is in a corner somewhere. If Bawumia was truly in charge, the capital would have been in Waliwali. And truly, that is the busiest, biggest town, everything. But alcohol, why? Because you control nothing. Bawumia controlled nothing. Into capital no alcohol, capital no call, baby, President Pesenko, and baby other interested parties Pesenko. All of this go to show you that not Bawumia. Yes, we wouldn't say he didn't have a role to play, but the president, I mean, we practice an executive presidency. And the president, overall, I mean, he does what he wants.
When you see an opponent in this election says, look, don't vote for this guy. One, he's a liar on Kanukre. Bawumia and Kanukre, and for that reason, you don't need to vote for him. What will you say? Because I know Canada, Japan, having the opportunity to address the people from your friends saying Boko and anything, but Okacham say Bawumia on you be or Kanukre. He is not a truthful person. You don't vote for a liar.
You see, Ken is my big brother. The path Ken is treading is a very dangerous one. And drumming video, no, I felt very sad for him. I realized that Wama politics are saying. First of all, allegation now or there to Bawumia so. I'm sure you are aware now that Bawumia didn't say that. It was Chairman Woon to me who said so. It was Chairman Woon to me who said that Edubuahin Nani health situation and Koyi Intina 96 you know Modena Twinchen. It was Chairman Woon to me who said so. And based on misinformation, you address a nation in such terms about your own brother, as in your life, and who be a liar to say Bawumia. Say yeti ha say ka niantia o say or say a man for say Bawumia a liar. That's nothing you can say. Then waka. Today ubisa ubia say identity na say Bawumia a liar. What can you say? It's just because Oma try say Omudi all negatives ever to Bawumia so and amfa. Omudi corruption amba amfa. Omudi wawaba amfa. Nti the only thing I'm can say since NDC for say Bawumia or trophy nti yemfa and also and to no so. I can tell you that all the politicians I've dealt with, apart from Kufuor, Bawumia is the most sincerest politician I've come in contact with.
And will you say it will do Ken more good? So you should just render an apology to the former vice president.
You see, I'm not in the position to advise Ken, but if I were in the position, that is the greatest thing he would have done as a politician. So, Obe render apology, say, oh, I got the facts wrong, I was misinformed, but I'm sorry. This is an internal fight. Me call I can't know. Time I hear me primaries, I told them, me see where your boy has ne kotoko. Then you acquire Black Star. Enti me nka say me has in inti say you drew Black Star. Me in fact personal mouth because we are kotoko. No. Where are you not an internal fight? And I can tell you that this fight is no fight. NPP, we've gone through more difficult times. Kufoni Nanado in Sunyai in 98 was something else. But after that, we managed it. Legon, Alan in Nanado, I'm sure you were there. You saw the tension. But we managed it. MPP, all the time we get it right. Delegates, MPP delegates are not fools. They're not fools. I have trust and confidence in the delegates. Say, at the most critical moment, they always get a decision right. That is why we follow any DHR. Everywhere Bawumia goes, say, when you look at the response, it's positive. Very positive. Other candidates here, they're also getting people. But if I'm going to use Akan as an example, it was only Bawumia or Kohon. And we got all delegates present.
Are you also mindful or minded about Sejon fear delegates?
You see, you see, delegates say, if you don't know how to read delegates, that's why you fear them. But if you know how to read delegates, you won't fear delegates. The delegates communicate with you. They tell you what will happen. But most people overlook what they tell you. Mimi kwa akan, like I told you, I went in as a last minute substitute. Me call you know, na chairman, I any album. Or my BBA me nkan ho. Because I wasn't really, I was looking at the future, to tell you the truth. Chairman, I an album. And now we BBA. But chairman, me drew on chairman contesting me in the primaries. And I still won. Why? Because the delegates told me that they can see the direction of the party in Akan. And at that critical moment, we hear Opia, the vision, my vision, coterminous. So the delegates are speaking. But me oba Akan OT, me no call rounds, me no call Biakuye, me no call Gwan. You see the response and you see the genuine love from the delegates. Oba Accra no Medina Chiyeko Adenta Madina. You see the genuine love. But with other candidates, I can tell you, majority of omo delegates.
Na za wo wani omochi, udi omochi.
Also, you hear videos, no. Videos no. You hear videos. Omo ko no. Majority of them are not delegates. Majority are not delegates.
You are too sure, sir, Bawumia will win this election?
Bawumia will not get less than 65% of the total votes on the 31st of January.
Last year, Otumichi 67. Why cause 65?
And I'm saying,
means you are not confident. Looking at meanings, the people will make an inroad, and this is where people make that deduction. Say, we share 67% in 2023, and Crawford no more supporting was at that time. Many of them are no longer supporting me. One, Brian a champion now was supported by Bawumia, and the followers as at that time, and now supported by Bawumia. Brian is no longer supporting Bawumia. You have Educhuma now supporting Bawumia. Now Educhuma is contesting, and it's our support base in Onya Ebium. Obi nim baby your friend is saying Kobreje Japan ejina.
Oh, no, so now Dinichi.
Yes, and Kobreje Japan for Bawumia, and so many supporters will come. Now all these people are contesting you, and so almost supporters in Mabium. Are you not afraid that now you come head to head with Obi Secondary Japan? Now he seems to have some of the people who were supporting Bawumia in 2023 coming to support him.
And so some of his supporters have left to join Brian. Some have left to join Bawumia. And see, I was watching social media. I'm very active on Facebook. And most of the time, no, mostly Ken organizer or Sisala East constituency, where I defected Akojani Bawumia. Now all the Kenichi from 2023. You see, politics is a very human-centered game. And when you always expect these movements. Some of the people are there for what they are going to get from the candidates. But I can tell you that on the 31st of January, Bawumia will not get anything less than 65%.
65%.
He won't get anything less than 65.
People made the argument, Obi Friend Pomboating said in 2023, Moko elections, you were in power. There were powers that were massaging people, directing people to move in a certain direction. Etumima unya that, 67% compared to Kenya Japan, who funnily ran into the system, and all of a sudden was able to garner about 37% in that election. This is a man you should fear when you are more or less like the system candidates against somebody who is an underdog.
In 2008, not Alan, almost ordinary system candidates. I remember Hackman, Echo, I think Wa, then on the delegates, Shana, Alan, at the helicopter, I call Lando. ɔsi na obiara firi grounds akɔ Alan Chen, but Alan couldn't win in 2008. NPP delegates no.
Alan sincerely gave it out to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
He couldn't win in politics.
Yes, and Nana Addo also couldn't win when it comes to vote here. Tom Printia. None of them crossed the threshold. I remember.
But he won because Alan knew that baby I won. So you got second round now. He couldn't catch up with Nana Addo. Alan, he had advisors. Before was behind Alan with all knee weight. He didn't win. You see, the system is not system. I'm body handcuff to be answer said Kochi. Who polling booth? I'm going to show. So how can you tell me that Obisi Kotuha, I mean Peho, but Onunti Makwa Kotuho, while the person was not with you in the polling booth? Bawumia won the prime minister in 2023 cleanly, and he's going to win again on 31st January cleanly. Now they all admit that there's no system into Yankas will be a system candidate, but you can still see that majority of the party are behind him.
Because people say the current national executives all seem to support Bawumia, all because they've not realized that they are failures. They are looking for protection under the umbrella of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia becomes the leader, they have that opportunity of sustaining their position in the party office.
That allegation lacks basis. There's no evidential basis to support that allegation. National executive, one chairman, our campaign trailer, Odi Bawumia, one organizer, youth organizer, women organizer. Why not?
But you don't necessarily say so when the person has already come out to make commentary that suggests semi support to where you don't really need to follow the person on a campaign trail.
But national executive are okay. To tell you the truth, Mima will be a wise statement say or supported by Bawumia.
The youth organizer has made his point well known.
I'm trying to say you are right on that. How many are the national executive members? The youth organizer and what wit does he wield? You can national executive is the chairman, the organizer, the secretary. That's the heart of national executive. You see, these are allegations of the other candidates. Among who say omo campaign enkoyi. Ubisabe ene say other candidates. What's their message? Omo message. Apart from attacking Bawumia, omo message. But who beside say message? Bawumia say obey 10 appointments per constituency. Me say I'm happy because Bawumia at minimum of 10 appointments beba account constituency. Also obey local level budgeting. Nti say bema contractor yent na Accra na ya ma contractor wa kan. Award no constituency.
Is it not a political talk?
No,
a promise that possibly will not be fulfilled. Looking at the fact saying people are talking about the sizes of government, appointments, 10 from each constituency, 276 constituency, 10.
You see, Bawumia Bahaya, or see they are in excess of 7,000 appointments. So government Biaba. We are not talking of ministerial appointment. We are talking of the down the ladder appointment, CEOs, board membership, and all of that. There are about 7,000. So 7,000, or say, or no, better 4,000. Now or the 3,000 a month constituency. So, and it's that 276 times 10 is 2,700. So there's even space left for local level appointments. And being see that. But we say appointments about one place will get more. Some constituencies be about 20, 30. That constituencies be only 1 or 2. I was saying on Yanesa. And this is what the delegates want to hear. Also the delegates welfare ever. nti ono oko campaign na oka we na wo say or your trophy wo say oh we lose. You are not saying anything.
Council, because of your time, what will you tell delegates who are listening to you right then now?
The cultural delegates, they say, just as they did in 96, just as they did in 2000, just as they did in 2004, just as they did in 2008, just as they did in 2012, they always get it right. They should look at what is ahead of us. Anytime say election na opposition party no support a candidate there, who name says our candidate, no name say it will be an easy go for them. I was shocked to say Kena those time only Kevin Taylor at each other's throat. Say see Kevin Taylor the key campaigner for Ken. What does that tell you? Has the Kotoko ball and a Kotoko for say, oh, has some person winning match now, or one for goalkeeper Wimbra. That doesn't help anybody. Their situation, let me just end on this. Your situation, say, you know, it is a yetikama, ye free Kumasi Ebakra. You drew Linda door and a car no and your puncher. You was spare tires, so oh, see, and sister, Nakano, and to us. Bible say yes, Uncle Kumasi Kofa Kafu from Embra. I mean, it doesn't make any economic sense. Car, ye background, and yes, I can say. Just a puncher, spare tire, or you fix a puncher. No, you will continue the journey. Yeah, to me, because yes, Aqua Kumasi Akofa Kafu from any driver Fufro.
Adiaba.
Yeah, sir. The car na ye timo ye ba Accra ye drew Linda door. So I can is our driver na ye de ba Accra.
But that's it. That is lawyer Tassa, former parliamentary candidate for Akan constituency, and I would say Yanini Din Komono. In just 30 seconds, Council, many would in common relative to Usuta would call court on 2 appointments to those board. Saying, have you been given hearing?
Say you know, I say civil litigation, our processes we serve via other party by respond.
Yes.
Now what my file thing or file witness statement into hearing no ebe for time kakra.
Okay.
But once as a democracy, a rule of law and due process. Into so we are there as a president. You don't just do what you like. GRA, you know, I am and I am running Ghana Revenue Authority. And at 791, I am a guide GRA, you know, almost say, way, Oko section 4.
Yeah.
Or see, board, no, so no, the Minister of Finance, so on to us, Commissioner of GRA, so on to us, the representative of Minister of Finance. Minister of Trade, representative of Bank of Ghana. And in Achim, I say we must have 4 persons from private sector
who are not being paid through the consolidated fund.
Correct. Already Section 28 are defining who a private sector participant is. And instead of say, Ubeko Fasa private sector for no,
or the MPs now
2 MPs.
In fact, we will be. I have key interest in that, sir. You bet me who send your case now. Thank you so very much for making time with us.
And me mouth here for fish up. Me stress, me pray say next year by this time. Na utility bills are above phone. Na university hostel fees above phone. Na exchange rate are above phone. Yeah, effect no. But that's it.